didn't know, my name is Ashley and I'm a cosmetologist in the town that I live in. I just wanted to come on here and show you guys a day in the life of what I do. So today there are not that many colors, just a lot of haircuts. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. Keep watching.
So I wasn't able to get a video of all of the haircuts, but here is my first men's cut. He had curly hair and we just blended it up. Okay, so this is my next client and we do a razor cut on her hair. When she first started with me, she had hair probably below her shoulders and she wasn't really happy with it. There weren't a lot of things that she was able to do with it. So we decided a few weeks ago to cut it off, and she's loved the style. So basically I just start in the back, and I'm using my razor. It gives such a different look than just using my scissors, because on the razor there are little notches, and it allows for the hair to be different lengths throughout the head. So a lot of people like that look. There are a couple important things that you need to do before using a razor. You should never use the same razor twice. The blade just gets too dull and it will tug on the hair. If at any point you start to feel the razor tugging, that lets you know that you need to get a new razor put in place. So you can just see here that I'm traveling up the occipital bone to the top of the head, and I am giving her a slight stack. I also wanted to say that if you're using a razor to do your haircuts, you can absolutely do it on dry hair. I get a lot of clientele that, one, has never had a haircut used with a razor, which is a shame because it really does give a different look than just using your shears. So it is a really great tool to use. Also, if you're going to use the razor on dry hair, again, you want to make sure that the blade is brand new, because if you don't and you're cutting hair dry, it's going to almost do a ripping effect and it will make the hair fray out. So if needed, you may need to replace your blade that you used during the haircut while it was wet with a new one if you're going to do it on dry hair. And I know that this isn't cost efficient, but it is going to save your client's hair from being frayed out and almost, I don't know how to explain it. I just know that it kind of tears the hair. So anyway, it would probably be best just to, switch out your blades if necessary. So going through this, the rest of the haircut, I'm just bringing both sides down. I did part the hair where the client typically parts. And you don't always have to do that. Normally when I do my haircuts, I do start centered, and the client will always say, "Oh, I don't part there," and that's okay. You're going to bring the part back to its original place later in the haircut. But because she does have such an angled haircut that we're doing right now, I want to bring the side over that needs to be, because if I started in the center and I brought it over once it was dry, it would actually be too short on one side, and she likes to have it just a tad bit longer on the other side. So now I'm just blow drying her hair. I always use product. It is important to use because it does give the client some movement in the hair. If they had really fine hair and you did not use a product in it, it's just going to lay there kind of limp. But with the product, it just changes the entire look. Especially it gives fullness, and it does depend on which product you're using. You want to make sure and use the right product for each client. But on this lovely lady, I did use the Kenra Perfect Blowout Cream. I really like their products. I just started using them, and I also used a detangler before I started cutting her hair. So that helped as well. So now I'm just blowing out her hair, and you guys can just keep watching the layers that I put in her hair once we are dry cutting. And there we go. I am using my razor to take out bulk in her hair. She just has really thick hair, and I don't want to leave it that way. So I'm just taking a section and kind of notching from mid to ends just to give it a different feel as it lays down. I also will in a second go through and put layering in, but they were actually underneath layers. It's been so long since I've actually had to use technical terms for hair cutting, so bear with me if I don't say it right. So you can see me there grabbing a section of hair, and I'm using my razor, but I'm taking it in the opposite direction. So what that does is it creates layering underneath the haircut that you can't see, and it gives fullness. So I'm just taking it in the opposite direction. I'm probably starting about 2 inches in and bringing it to the ends. And I do always dry the client's hair, and then I go back in and I do refining. I could never let a client leave with wet hair and never see the finished product, because you don't know if you need to go back in and actually change something or blend a little bit more. So here's the finished look, and she was really happy with it. And this is actually the next day. I wasn't able to film the other appointments that I had. They were nail appointments, so they were trying to relax. Otherwise I would, and maybe in the future I will. But this client is a regular of mine, and we do a really clean fade on him. I always start my fades basically opposite. So instead of going up the head with like a 1 guard, if they wanted that to be the shortest length, I start backwards. So on his hair, I started with a 3, and I went around and did that. Then I dropped down to a 2, then I dropped to a 1, but he actually likes to go even to a 0, so we were able to get it really close to the scalp. And then I'll go in and I will do the top of the head, but it is key to blend when you're doing fades. You don't really ever want to see that line, and you can just kind of see me blending like a mad woman for a while. So anyway, keep watching and you'll be able to see the finished haircut at the end. Don't hesitate to lift your client's scalp up with your fingers. They would rather that you go in and do what you have to do to give them a good haircut than to be nervous to do that. So make sure when you are fading and you're trying to hit that line so that it's not visible anymore, that you're lifting the scalp up. Your client will thank you later. They appreciate the little things that you're doing to make sure and give them a good haircut. so now I'm starting on the right side, and I am moving along the side of his head, almost pointing my fingers up towards the center. It's going to blend the sides as well as leave length on the top. Okay, so I am determining where he wants his length, and then I'm going to go in a rocking motion across the head. So I'm starting in the center, going to the right and back to the left, and I'm basically just connecting to the sides that I've already cut and moving back towards my body. You want to make sure that your body does change positions when it is necessary. We use an 1821 man-made product in our salon, and the men love this product. It's got a really distinct smell to it. They love it. So if you haven't tried it, you definitely should. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot to me. If you like it, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.